Hi everyone, Fina here from Fina Reads. Welcome back, and I'm so excited to be saying that again because it hasn't been 3 months since the last video. No, that's just been a couple of days. So I'm really excited to be back again and taking the time to film something. Today I'm sharing my December TBR. My December TBR is more a suggestion at this point because this stack is pretty high and I already know I will not read all of these, but I hope to get at least to the majority. Fingers crossed. Please send all your well wishes my way. I really want to read the majority of these books. I will start with 2 books where I'm not sure if they are actually out in December or if I can get access to them somehow so I can read them in December. And then I'll continue with the books that I definitely have in one way or another. So I'm starting with the book that has the same name that I do. And that is Josefine #2. I've read the first book. It's a self-published, younger fantasy romance type story. It's not the best book in the world out there, but I really, really loved it. Mainly because the main character has the same name that I have, and it's spelt the exact same way that my name is spelt, which is really, really rare. And it was just kind of a fun, witchy adventure. And sometimes I like stuff like that. Not sometimes, actually quite often. But anyway, and book 2 is supposed to come out in December, but I haven't heard anything. I think if I remember correctly, I actually pre-ordered it at one point because it was supposed to come out in June or July, but that pre-order got canceled and then everything got moved to December. But I haven't seen anything from the author on any medium, and actually book 1 got removed from Amazon, so I'm a little bit worried that I'm not getting book 2 for this because I really, really want to. And the other book is book 3 in the Gunmetal God series, which Zamil just recently announced the title for, and that is Elder Epoch. And I kind of want to read it, but I actually kind of also wanted to read Gunmetal God and Conqueror's Blood first before I'm going into book 3, just to remind myself of everything that happened, because it has been a little bit since I read book 1. But I don't know, I might be so excited that I just have to read it. He was saying on social media that the first draft is done, and if I'm not mistaken, he is now in the second round of reviews, but I could be wrong with that. He definitely announced the title the other day, not the whole book, not the cover yet, but the title. So this is a maybe for December. If this really comes out, I might have to stop everything else, which would cause a problem for this stack down here, but we'll tackle that problem once we're there. Next up are 2 books that I definitely somehow have to figure out how to read, because these are part of a TBR swap with Jake from the Bookish Drummer. He picked 2 books for me to read and I picked 2 books for him to read. I'll link his TBR down below so you can see what I picked for him. But he picked for me Kurt Vonnegut's Slaughterhouse-Five, and I'm so appreciative for him picking this for me because I had this on my TBR in January this year, and since then I've been trying to read it. I hope I'm getting to it now because I've heard so many good things about Vonnegut where I'm like, this is exactly my type of book that I would want to read. And I actually have his short story collection here, and I was really close to buying his complete collection because they had that on super sale on Amazon. I didn't, because I said to myself, I have to read at least one thing from him first before I buy yet more books from him. So here's hoping. And the second book that Jake picked for me is V.E. Schwab's Vicious, also a book that I had on my TBR for quite some time. I've only read Addie LaRue from V.E. Schwab so far, but I've heard, she has been, all her other books have been on BookTube for so many times. That's why I had my eye on her for quite some time. And Vicious is the one that I have been the most interested in. I was not a huge fan of Addie LaRue. I think I gave it 3 stars back then because I found it a bit too slow and just not really exciting. Nothing really happened with that main character. But this is a very different premise. So I am really excited. And I think Jake is even reading book 2 this month, so it's kind of funny. That was not planned and not part of the swap or anything, but I think it's funny. So I have high expectations, but I'm equally scared that this is going to be a dud, and I really hope it isn't. If you've attempted my other video, I don't blame you if it didn't, because it is pretty long, but if you watched it, or at least read the description, you saw that I'm currently reading Lord of the Rings, The Fellowship of the Ring. This is moving into December. I was really hoping I'm finishing it in November, but by now it is moving into December. I'm unfortunately way too slow, but I'm still enjoying it very, very much. I just love the wholesome fantasy feeling that this has. And my plan was to read The Two Towers in December, also with this amazing cover. I really, really love this edition of Lord of the Rings. I am in awe with these covers. So depending on how Lord of the Rings goes, I hope well, and I hope it continues well, I want to read The Two Towers, and that would actually be, I think I DNF'd this pretty much at the end. I remember I finished Fellowship, and then I think I read the majority of The Two Towers, but didn't finish, and that's why I DNF'd Lord of the Rings, again, way back when, in my tweens, whatever. So here's attempt number 2, add The Two Towers, and I'm hoping it's going to go well. Another read-along this month is for Gardens of the Moon by Stephen Erikson. I have the German version here. I actually have all the German books in here because I thought this is complicated. At least that's what everybody is saying. So let's make it easy and let's read it in my native language, which then now I ended up with 19 books. So we'll see. But we wanted to start reading Garden of the Moon, and funny enough, at the same time, Andrew from Andrew's Wizardly Reads is doing a read-along for this book now on his Discord as well. I'll in spirit, kind of in spirit, will join that readathon too. But originally it was within our little group. Anyway, I'm rambling. I'm sorry. This is a read-along. There are various read-alongs going on for this this month. Check out Andrew's Discord if you want to join in on that. But this is, I really hope I can get to it, especially because I have a couple of people that I can read it with now. And also I think for the majority of them, this would be the first read of it. So it's kind of good to have people to talk with then. So yeah, 300 more so's. I hope I hope I'll find time for that. Because this is something I wanted to read for quite some time now. You see the theme here. I really hope I get to all of these. And then, as you all know, I am participating in SPSFC2's self-published science fiction competition number 2. And I have 5 quarterfinalists left to read. And ideally, I want to read 2.5 in December and 2.5 in January. So if you look at this stack of books, you see there's one, well, I do it this way around so you see it better. There's one really, really chunky one. So I was thinking to split it up like this. So one chunky one smaller one on one month, and then 3 normal sized books in the other month. And I'm not sure which one I feel like at the moment. So stack 1 would be Hammer and Crucible from Cameron Cooper, Lottery to Haven by William G, I'm not sure, and Bloodlines by Peter Hardock. And the other stack would be Aestus, Book 1, The City by S.Z. Atwell, and Derelict by Mark All. I'll have to see what I'm in the mood for. I have a feeling it's going to be the shorter book stack because I already have 2 ginormous chunkers, potentially 3 with Zamil's book because they are not short either. And if I have some shorter books just in the middle to, get something read quickly, maybe over a weekend, that might be, the stack I'm going with. But we'll see. We'll see what mood reading me will do. I definitely have to read those books because otherwise I have to read all 5 of those in January, and that might be a ginormous problem, since I already have way too many plans for January, work-wise and booktube-wise, that I won't have the time to do any of that. I think that's it. So I'm hoping that I'm getting through at least a couple of them. Either way, I'm super excited to get to those books and get to reading all of those stories. I am so excited about all of these and have been for such a long time. We shall see. We shall see. I'll keep you updated. What are your plans for December? What are you reading for December? Are you joining Andrew's read-along for Stephen Eriksson? Is this something you're interested in? Any tips, if you've read Stephen Eriksson's Gardens of the Moon, any tips that you can share with us or with me on how to best, get through it and be excited about it and not lose, whatever people are saying you lose while you're reading it. I don't know. I'm excited. To be honest, I'm not scared about, the book itself. I'm just really excited to finally experience the story. Anyway, I'm repeating myself. I hope you have an amazing rest of your day. Thank you so much for stopping by. I really appreciate you. And I hope I see you soon with my next video.